Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, perfect. So, hello everyone. My name is Loic Durso. I'm a business development manager within the Tech Data Cisco team. And together, we're going to give a session together with Michael Jonkers, a small business manager, and Ahmad Ben Majoub, also small business manager, regarding security and how you can boost your and how you can stack your security at your home office. There are quite a lot of things to cover today, but we will do a fun and interactive session with demos and activities. So let me first put this into a story. This story, it's a very famous and known story that we've seen a lot lately in the last 3 months. And we will have a role play. So we have Matthew, which is an end user. He likes to read his newspaper. He has a dog. He commutes with his car. And now suddenly with the pandemic, he needs to telework and he needs to use his own laptop. And then we have Pete, the IT guy that had a huge spike of teleworkers, 500 teleworkers working from home. He has not a big team. He has only one other colleague working on IT. He commutes by bike. He likes gaming. He's 31 years old. Voila. And Pete is worried. Why? Because we see that he hasn't much control of the applications that the end user are using. He sees also that he needs to make sure that every connection is working smoothly between the end user and the HQ using VPN. He is afraid of data leakage. He heard about Picanol. He heard about Honda last week that was breached with a ransomware. He is very concerned about phishing attacks, and also he's not that sure that the different users are using a strong password policies. And he is not completely sure everyone is trained in cybersecurity practices. And also, he is a bit worried that everyone is using internet as it should be and safely. So with that, let's kickstart the session with a little bit of an agenda of what we'd like to cover today. We're first going to introduce a little bit more some trends we've seen in the market, and then we'll see also the business security needs. And then we'll go in the different layer of security structures, how you can stack your different security structures with on-premise and cloud-managed firewall, then AnyConnect, then Duo, and with that, with Duo, Michael Jonkers will also give us a little demo. Then I will also speak about Umbrella, a secure internet gateway, also previously called OpenDNS. And then Amat will guide us through the next steps, and then we will open up for questions. So if you have any questions, by the way, don't hesitate to send it to the chat, and Ahmad and Michael will be able to answer your questions, or I will answer your question at the end of the session. Okay, so what do we see today? What are the different we see as a network is changing today? We see that many devices are connected to the network. So as you can see, I have here, you cannot see probably, but I have here next to me, I have two phones, two laptops, I have a smartwatch, and I have a printer. So let's say there are 6 devices that are connected in a radius of 5 meters. And we see this really booming also smart devices, IoT devices, OT devices. We think we are going up to 28 billion of devices by next year. we have these data actually are before the pandemic. So basically now we are close to 100% or 80% or 100% staff that are working from home. So a lot of strain on VPNs, on HQs, and so on. The business cannot be uninterrupted. If you see the downtime, the average cost of downtime at Picanol, it was a disaster. But the downtime on average cost $7,900 a minute for small business. So it's pretty. You cannot afford to have any downtime, especially now. Applications are spread to multiple of clouds. We see also, and we'll cover that as well, about the shadow IT. So you have the cloud application for professional cloud application, but also you have also private cloud applications, and how can you secure that, right? And then we have, and one of the big threats also is about passwords that are no longer secure enough. There was a video a couple of months ago, like a funny video, and someone actually, for a joke, asked the password to people, the unknown people, just to be sure. And then there were half of the people were actually giving their passwords directly on the interview. So the people are not strict enough on their passwords. So we see a lot of breaches there. Okay, so how can you actually prevent all of these? How can you secure your network? So first you need a nice and good firewalling, a next-gen firewall. And here you have actually two different flavors. Either you go really cloud managed with a Meraki MX, very intuitive, very nice design. You have also a very nice view on the application control. It's an open platform, so you can also work with APIs. And then you have a built-in SD-WAN, so very, very sleek, very intuitive, very easy, but also very strong. For the diehards, really want to go to step up with security and have an even stronger security solution, you have the Cisco Firepower, which is the next generation firewall security. But still, if we compare the both, we see that they have quite a lot of shared capabilities. It's all backed by Talos. Talos is a threat intelligence group that has 600 engineers that are looking at hundreds of terabytes of data per day, billions of DNS requests per day, and really have this intelligence that are pushing back to the MX, back to the Firepower, and so on. So both have layer 3, layer 7, application visibility and control, intrusion prevention, malware protection, and so on. However, the management is different. So you see from the Meraki MX, you see a single pane of glass, security and hybrid WAN management, cloud management. On the other side, the Firepower has a little bit more SSL traffic and advanced threat inspection, remote access VPN with AnyConnect, next-gen IPS, and so on. But still two very powerful solutions that can actually work together. So you can actually have a hybrid mode to have Firepower on the one side and Meraki MX on the other side. Let's say, for example, on the Firepower on the HQ and on the branch side, the MX. This is totally possible. Next to that, and actually there is a big news there, Meraki is going to have AnyConnect enabled in 2-3 months. So it's now in beta actually for some users, and it's working pretty fine. And basically AnyConnect is what is actually a very known and very strong and known best of breed VPN solutions. Now you can have basic VPN, advanced VPN, but also you have network visibility, roaming protection. and you can have its extra extended services with Identity Service Engine, Cloud Web Security, and then you can also combine it with Umbrella very easily. So either the VPN is on and the tunnel and the traffic goes towards the HQ. Either what you can do is you can basically switch it off and then Umbrella kicks in. Okay, so making sure that all the DNS requests and the traffic, the internet traffic, goes via the Umbrella secure internet gateway and makes the screening there. Okay. Next to that, I'm going to pass over the words to Michael Jonkers that will guide us through Cisco Duo, a very strong MFA solution. So give it away, Michael.
Thank you, Loic. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So this, as Loic mentioned, this brings us to Cisco Duo, right? So Loic already touched on it very briefly, but we know that passwords, let's say, are still a weak spot when it comes to cybersecurity in general. And a lot of companies don't really have any strong password policy in place. So over the past few years, we're increasingly aware of the importance of what we call multi-factor authentication. Some of you might know it, meaning that a simple password to access corporate data applications is no longer enough. And any organization needs to ensure that the person who tries to connect to an application is really the person they say they are. Right, and to do that, on top of a standard password, let's say, Duo allows users to authenticate themselves using other ways, basically multi-factor authentication. So in short, Duo is a solution that makes it possible to verify both the identity of the user before they can access any application, and it also gives you visibility into the devices that are trying to connect. So it can check, let's say, the security hygiene of the products. So it can look at whether a product has a passcode lock, for example, whether the software version is up to date, etc., etc. And it looks at things like, is a device known and trusted, etc. Now, if we go to the next slide, Loic, you'll see that with Duo, it's all about simplicity. So in essence, users can self-enroll on Duo in a matter of minutes. Nothing complicated about it. And once it's working, they can authenticate themselves to access certain applications, for example, in mere seconds, just by pushing, for example, on a green button to show that they are who they say they are. So on the next slide, you'll see that actually, if we go back to our original story that Loic mentioned, we can see that our user, Matthew, for example, can authenticate himself with Duo in different ways. So one example that I just mentioned is the push notification. So if you're trying to access, for example, your company's Salesforce on your laptop, Duo might ask you to authenticate yourself by sending a push notification to your phone. You see a green and red button. If it's you doing the request on your laptop, obviously you click on the green button, and if it's not, you click on the red button. So that's one of the ways. But there are other ways. You can choose to use hardware tokens, other software tokens, biometrics, so fingerprint, etc. Classic SMS, if you prefer. So we give you the choice from that perspective. And then on the next slide, we're going to look at more from the IT administration side. So the big benefit for your customers or yourself from Duo is that you can use a single administration panel. To manage your users, to set access policies, and to get visibility into which user is using what device to gain access to which application. So you really get the full view there. And so you can make, as an IT admin, you can make a distinction between corporate devices, employee-owned devices. So you can say, as an example, you can limit the access of employee-owned devices to certain applications. And Duo can also help our IT administration people to identify devices at risk. So if you see that a device is or doesn't have the most current version of the software, or if it doesn't have passcode lock or whatnot, well, it might be restricted from accessing certain sensitive applications within your corporate environments. And that's also what you see in the next slide. So even the end user can be notified basically by Duo on his phone, for example, that his or her device is has some security gaps, right? If it's not up to date, if it doesn't have passcode lock, etc. So both the IT administration side and the user side can see that. Now, before we jump into just a short demo of Duo, let me finish by giving you, let's say, an overview of some of the applications that Duo supports. That's what you're going to see in the next slide. So Duo can integrate with a myriad of applications, and it's incredibly easy to deploy across all types of applications, right? You can start with, say, more standard out-of-the-box applications or integrations with VPN services, such as Cisco AnyConnect, which Loic just mentioned, or other VPN services from other vendors. And then other standard applications include email, of course, Salesforce, etc. But you can roll it out for custom applications as well in the next phase. And you will find all kinds of integration guides and step-by-step instructions on duo.com. So it's all fairly straightforward, easy to understand. And then from a commercial perspective, which might interest some of our attendees today, Duo doesn't license per application. It's basically a price per user per month. And there are a couple of different tiers, depending mostly on how much insights you want to have as an IT admin, how much granularity you want to have. So that's it from my side. So I think now we can jump into the demo quickly. So we'll share my screen.
Do I need to unshare?
No, it should be okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me know if you can see the screen, Loic. Is the screen visible to everybody? Perfect. So all good. So let's go through a quick demo. It's available on demo.duo.com, and there's different use cases, some of which I mentioned. So we can try the, let me say, the classic one here. You want a standard sign-on to one of the applications. So you're trying to log in here, and then Duo is actually activating and asking you, okay, which way do you want to authenticate? Through a phone call, through a passcode SMS, or through a push? So we're going to use a push, which is a standard one. So this is the view of your phone. So you get a push notification, you click on it, and there is a green and red button that I talked to you about earlier. So I'm just going to validate this, and voila, you have access to your applications. Now there are a couple of other use cases here. For example, self-remediation might be a good one that you can show your customers. So imagine you're trying to log into your Outlook environment, Office 365. Again, you're getting the demo or the Duo pop-up here, but it says that your browser is out of date proactively. So it checks the health of your device, and it checks whether you have the latest software version. And if you don't, your IT administrator can, for example, block you from accessing or from logging in and authenticating yourself. So that's another example. And then let's go through one more, just as a matter of example. Device health application is another one here. So self-remediation is important. So again, you're trying to log in through your Microsoft environment. It's going to open up the Duo demo device health. And as you can see, Duo can immediately detect here macOS is up to date, your system password is set, but your firewall is not enabled. So through a couple of steps, you can then enable your firewall. See, and then once you do that, you should have access, and Duo will turn green. So in this case, see, there's no more warning. You can just simply log in. And since we went through that quite quickly, maybe just the last one in terms of AnyConnect. So AnyConnect is a VPN solution that Loic presented before. So if you want to log into your VPN, again, Duo might ask push so that not everybody who has access to your laptop or your device can just connect to your corporate network. No, you have an extra layer of authentication with Duo to access the VPN. So these were some examples of the use cases we have with Duo. But of course, if there are any questions, we can talk about them a bit later in the Q&A, or we can engage some of our specialists later on in a one-to-one discussion. So that's it from my side. Back to you, Loic.
Yes, great. Let me try to reshare my screen. Okay, let me go in presenter mode. Yep. Thank you very much, Michael. It was very insightful, and I really enjoyed also the fact that you can also self-remediate, even if Pete has a lot of struggle contacting everyone. He can push Duo, and then people will have to learn by themselves how to secure their mobile phones. Excellent. Now I'm going to speak a little bit about Umbrella. Umbrella, like I said, it's formerly known as OpenDNS. It's also a completely cloud solution that started already in 2006. And basically what it does, it's actually making the first connection to the internet. Why is that? It's a secure internet gateway in the sense that it will actually, via the domain name systems, provide the translation between a URL and an IP and make sure that a server from the requested address that we want to query information connects with your server. So it's making the routing there in the cloud, basically. And with that, Umbrella, and formerly OpenDNS, adds extra security. They will check the URL, check the IP, will check whether there are any, it was an IP or URL generated manually or through a machine. We'll check the reputation of it. We'll also sandbox it. Anyway, there is a lot of checks to be done that can be done on the cloud. So looking a little bit more, you can actually create policies. A very interesting one, and maybe Honda does not have Umbrella or Picanol either, because they were attacked by the ransomware attack. And the way the ransomware is using is very often it will use definitely at 90% of the case, it will use DNS to go into your network. And one last and one capability among which is the C2 callbacks. So even if your malware is in your laptop, it needs to connect through a malicious server to get the encrypted keys, and then you have a block there again with Umbrella. Okay, so it blocks attacks earlier, contains malware if already inside, easily enforce content web filtering. You can also create a lot of policies, content category policies. You can do many different policies. And actually, on the next slides, I'm going to, there are even more capabilities. So they are actually developing the platform even more and adding cloud-delivered firewalling capabilities. And also a very interesting one is Cloud Access Security Blocker. So basically, it will also address the shadow IT. What we are calling about shadow IT is the fact that you can have, people can use many different applications that are unsecure, and you can block by application as well. So you have interactive threat intel, secure web gateway, DNS layer security. And as I mentioned also in my previous slides, it's also by Talos. Okay, so by Talos, and you can basically have all this intelligence coming into the Cisco umbrella. Which actually quite interestingly, it's a completely open source platform. So basically, it's a very easy attach because it can connect to any types of router, even not Cisco. Okay, so any router that needs to be connected on the internet can have a Cisco umbrella security on top. Okay, that will also not only secure your perimeter, but you can also have the solutions directly on your device, on your laptop, on your mobile phones, to make sure that all the traffic is still going through to the umbrella clouds. Okay, so how do you do that? How the deployment is done? It's done in minutes. Why is that? Because since it's completely cloud-based, the only thing you need to do is actually to assign your DNS through the umbrella platform. Okay, and then from your side, you need to have this on a dashboard, so you will actually provide your public IP address. Okay, making the link between the two. Okay. And basically, this is it. You are actually, after that, completely deployed, enabled. Okay, so point your DNS, sign up, point your DNS, and you're done. Okay. In the case you want to actually make a deployment on laptops, there is a possibility to download a very small software of 7 kilobytes that goes on your laptop that will make sure that all the traffic goes to the umbrella Git clouds. And with that, I will do a little demo. Stop here, and I'm going to drag this there. Okay. So this is how it looks like, Cisco umbrella. So you have first a view, an overview of all the threats that are going in. So you have here a view of the malwares, the command and control callback, like I told you. So the malware is in the laptop, and actually we managed to block 8 of those requests. Deployment health, this is the wide network, active networks, roaming clients, virtual appliance, because you can concentrate one part of the solution directly on the virtual machines. So you have a more granular view of your network. And then the network breakdown. So how many DNS requests we got? 197,000 requests. And out of these, we have 9,000 blocks that can be security blocks, that can be policy blocks. Within those 9,000 blocks, you have 5,408 blocks. So this is actually indeed blocks. And then you see a breakdown of all the blocks a little bit later in the security categories with the malware blocks, the phishing, the command and control, and the crypto mining. Okay, and then you can still also have a view of the different applications that are being considered dangerous. And this is in the case you have the solution in your VMs by destination, by identity, by type. Okay. So now I'm going to very quickly go over how to deploy, and that's actually everyone has the possibility to do it because it's extremely easy. What you just need to do is you give the network name. You have to point your DNS address to one of these addresses, if it's IPv4 or IPv6. And then here you will provide your public IP address, and you're done. And there is nothing else to do. Okay. There is just one thing is that you need to be in the same range of the IP address. So with this, you have also those roaming computers, the roaming clients. You can download the roaming clients. That's also pretty easy to do. So now I'm going to go over the policies, and you see we have DNS policies, firewalling policies, web policies, destination list, content categories. I'm going to go over this one. Also pretty easy to do. So basically what you need to do is just give a setting name, a content list is apply, a copy from existing, and then you can block the categories. Okay. If you want to go to your dashboard on Meraki, I'm going to go quickly on this. I just forgot to, let's see if I can go quickly on this. If you log into your Meraki dashboard, hopefully. Okay, logging in. So, so here, very interestingly, if you go also on your Meraki dashboard, you can import your policies from Umbrella directly into the wireless. So for example, very interesting if you have, for example, a guest Wi-Fi that you want to simply fetching Umbrella configurations. So so where are we? Yes, so here we have the Cisco Umbrella, and then if you, for example, have a guest Wi-Fi, you can simply apply the policy you want directly on the dashboard. So very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to go a little bit over the security reports. We've seen all those different policies. What I'd like to show you also is the reporting, sorry. Policies, deployment, reporting, and then we have this app discovery that is actually amazing because you can in a very quick snapshot see how many applications you see. 3,469 applications that we've discovered. Out of these, we can see here the different apps that you think are very dangerous. So for example, Conversio, then you can simply say, I'm going to block this application in a matter of seconds. You can just simply block this application quickly and so on. So I can go over and over with more details on this application discovery and the Cisco Umbrella, but right now I'm going to stop right here. If you want to go deeper on that, just let us know, and we'll go further with Umbrella. So let me see if I can share it again. Okay. What we have done today. So now let's see how did we do for Pete? So how did we solve these issues? Well, I think Pete now is much more at ease at the moment. Why? Because he really was really interested in which application do they use, and is the different application secure or not. We can solve that thanks to Umbrella. Okay. Are the teleworkers successfully establishing connection with HQ through VPN? Of course, with AnyConnect. But I haven't showed you also on the Meraki. Meraki can also has a very good VPN solution, Auto VPN, with also in the future also AnyConnect. Are the risk of data leakage? Well, you can address that with next-gen firewalling of Meraki or the Firepower 1000, but you can also very quickly and easily look at this with Umbrella. Do we have a strong password policy? Yes, you can, because you can force it via the Duo. And then you can also train your cybersecurity practice because you have a self-remediation tool from Duo. And can the user browse the internet safely? Yes, with Umbrella, we can guarantee that. Okay, so I think with that, Ahmad, I think I'm going to give you the ball to you so you can guide us through the different promotions and offers we can propose to you.
Okay, thank you, Loic. Just I will give you a brief overview about the running or the current promotion and offers that we have in Q4. We have the fast track promotions for this quarter. I don't know if all of you are familiar with the fast track promotions. So just in a brief words, it's a quarterly promotion that's on selected SKUs, where you can get a very high discounts with no extra approval needed from Cisco. So that's the fast track promotions. It's every quarter. So we have the Firepower 1K series that you can loan it. We have the Duo and other security offers. So I will give you more details on that. So if you can go to the next slides, Louis, please. Very important is that we have added the Meraki products on the fast track promotion. So that's pretty new. So please use it. Before that, we never put Meraki products on that. You can get up to 52 discounts on Meraki and 57 discounts on the Firepower Firewall 1K series. You have a hyperlink so you can get the full list that you can view after this session. We will provide you the presentation. So next slide, yeah. About the loan request, it's really easy, not too much detail to fill. So you can just complete this template and send it to Tech Data for approval and processing. And you can get your Firepower for 3 weeks, but you can also extend it to 5 weeks if needed. Next slide, please. Yeah. We talked a lot about the Duo. For you partners, you can get Duo NFR at zero cost. I would like to emphasize about that because it's really, really important. So you have zero investment to do. If you like to try it, to show it to your customers, and also to use it for your internal use. So please do not hesitate to buy it. So it's at zero cost. You can also get it for a trial for your partners, for your end customers. But it's limited to a 30-day trial. Okay. We have other offers. Actually, we have Umbrella. So that's also available for end customers. But you can also, as partner, ask a trial for your partner, for your customer, and also manage it if you wish. So that's also a possibility that we have. And next slide, please. So also with AnyConnect, the same as Umbrella. So end customers can ask a trial directly, but also you as partner, you can do it. It's really pretty easy to launch a trial. Just have to click on the link and follow the instructions. Next, please. Yeah. Last but not least, we know that a lot of companies are facing finance challenges in this tough moment, but they still need to invest in their IT infrastructure if they want to survive. And for that reason, we have several, let's say, leasing and finance options within Cisco. So if we go to the next slide, I will show 2 options that we have actually running. So that's the Easy Lease with 0% financing. So it's a duration of 36 months. And the threshold is pretty easy to achieve. That's 1K up to 250K. So that's really important. And of course, they need to be approved by our partner DLL. But that's one option that we have. The second option that we have is the Cisco Business Resiliency Program. So you buy it now and you pay later. So that means that you buy your infrastructure and defer the payment. For the first 3 months, you pay 0. And after 3 months, you pay only 1% of the deal. And after that, so in the next calendar year, you pay the remaining monthly payments. Just be in mind that there is a threshold. The minimum deal size is 50K. But of course, we have no maximum deal size. The minimum deal size is 50K. And there you have more flexibility in the contract term. So you have 36 months, 48, and 60 months. So that's let's say more flexible than the other option. And I think that's it for me. Yeah, we have the Cisco SMB sales and the partner team. As you know, Loic. If you have any question, do not hesitate to reach them out. But you have also the Cisco team behind Loic. So we are happy to to assist you in every deal or request that you may have.
I can see that there is just one slight error on the slide. It's cisco@techdata.be. We'll correct that before sending to all of you.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's no problem. We'll go to the US.
No, that's
no, it's fine. We're going to correct that, but thank you. Okay, we are at the end of the presentation, and I think now we can do is open up for questions. So, dear audience, do you have any questions, or do we have questions in the chat box?
I see no questions in the chat box.
No questions? Maybe we can wait a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, just to be sure. Was it clear? You liked the session? Maybe I need to.
I think we have a shy audience, Loic.
It's still the morning, huh?
Yeah, still waking up.
No comments whatsoever? No? If not, then I think we will give you 15 minutes back, of 10 minutes back of your time. I'd like to thank you very much, Michael and Amat, to co-jointly present this to all of you. We are going to send a recording to you and the presentation as from tomorrow. You'll get also a survey, okay, generated automatically from TechData. If you will be nice to actually respond to surveys so we can have better presentations in the future. And with that, I think I will close this. Thank you very much for attending.